Good evening, everyone. Let's start the session, guys, for today. Now, imagine a situation that I don't have a privilege where it is not supported by Azure. Let's take something realistic. I have my L1 engineer or L2 engineers joined as part of a project. So, where I want to hand over work of only server build. So, imagine a situation that, guys, I am getting a continuous work. What is the work that I'm getting? So I'm getting continuously for the server build. So here and there daily I'm getting a one or two request where I fed up, daily who will do this server build and all. So then finally I felt like, okay, we are having L1 team. L1 in the sense like the guys who are having 1 year or a freshers. L2 in the sense like we are having at least a 3 to 4 years of experience, guys. So I felt like, okay, man, let's hand over this work to these guys because I'm having so many other things to complete. So I don't want to take this work. So now the major problem with them is like, if I'm going with the default roles, whatever Azure is providing with me, default roles is what? Default role is my read, write, as well as, sorry, read,
Contribute
Contributor is the owner.
and owner.
contributor,
And
Owner.
owner.
and owner.
Owner.
So now, if I go ahead and if I see my requirement, my L1 and L2 engineers, they need to have access to what? Access to only server build. Do I have such kind of a customization with these privileges, guys? Can I do such kind of a customizations? Is it possible? Is it
No,
something that I can use these roles and then do it?
no.
No.
No, right? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So hence, what Azure is telling is like, Azure is telling, boss, this is what I'm providing to you. I'm providing you read, contributor, and owner. If you want, use it. If you don't want, you go ahead and create whatever the role that you want. What Azure is telling me, Azure is telling me, hey, I am giving you this one, man. If you want, use it. If you say like, oh, it is not satisfying your role, or it is not satisfying your requirement, then I cannot help you. But I'm giving you an option of custom role. You go and you create it by yourself. Whatever you want, you go and you create it by yourself. So now this is the requirement, guys. What is the requirement? Requirement is like I'm going ahead and I'm trying to enable my L1 or L2 engineers where I am planning to make sure that these guys are having only the access for server build, nothing else. They should have only access for server builds, nothing else. Imagine a situation that you guys are joining as part of a new organization. You guys are being a part and parcel of your company. Then how you guys are going to manage such kind of a workload? How do you ensure like you guys are providing privileges for a particular user to build only the infrastructure? See here. So what I have to do, guys, I have to ensure like I'm giving my custom role where where this custom role based upon my customization, I will create it. And once I have created this custom role, I can go ahead and I can assign my custom role. If I want, I can assign it at my user level, or if I want, I can assign at my group level as well. If I want, I can assign at my user level, or if I want, I can assign at my group level. Sir, what do you mean by group, sir? What do you mean by group? Let's try to understand about a word called a group. Generally, people will say like a group of people. Like you guys, a group of students, a group of students who joined for a call, who joined for a multi-cloud, who joined for multi-cloud. So now here what we are doing, guys, we are having a group of audience who are working as a team. Now imagine a situation that I'm having a single user. What do I have? Let's say like this is my single user. So like this, I have many people. Let's say like I'm having what, guys? I'm having multiple developers. So on up to, let's say like I'm having this one. I like he is my developer one, and I'll call this guy as my developer two, and I'll call this guy as my developer three, and I'll call this guy as my developer 50. What am I doing? I'm having 50 developers. Now all these guys are working for a same project. All these guys are working for a same project. Now what are the privileges that I'm having? I'm having my privileges like read, contributor, and I have owner. Let's say like we are granting read permission to all users. What is the need, guys? Need is to grant them a privilege of read permission. Now if I want to grant a privilege of a read permission, how many times do I need to grant this privilege for these users, guys? Total number of
4
users,
times.
I have 50.
50 times.
Then how many times I
Times.
need to grant?
50 times.
Very
50
nice.
times.
50 times. So for this user I need to grant, and for this user I need to grant it. See here, guys, see the architecture. So for this guy I have to grant it, and for this guy I have to grant it, and likewise I have to go ahead and I have to grant the privileges for the 50th guy. So now in this, what is a major problem that I am facing is like I have to assign same permission 50 times to 50 users. What's happening here? Problem is like I have to assign 50 times same privilege to 50 people. So if it is one day or if it is a 2 days, I will be doing it. If daily, if the same work is coming, what you will do? Don't you feel bored? Hmm? Don't you feel bored? Obviously, anyone doing the same work again and again, they will feel bored. That's a human tendency. Now let's tell me, you guys tell me what is the solution? What is the alternative solution that we can bring for this? I want to ensure like
We can
requirement is getting
create a group.
satisfied.
We can
Ah,
create a group and then assign the permission.
nice, nice. So in the previous example, what did we do? We assigned individually, hence it took so much time for 50 users. Now what am I going to tell you? I am telling you like, hey man, why should I give individually, man? Why should I give individually? Instead of that, what I will do, I'll create a group called development group. What I will say, I'll say like, hey, no man, why I should do this work manually, or why I should assign this work to multiple people. Instead of that, what I will do is like I will create a group called development, and then what I will do, whatever the privilege that I want to allocate, whatever the privilege that I want to allocate, what am I going to do? I will go ahead and I will assign those privileges to the group. Just give me one moment, please. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Finally. So here what we are doing, guys. Earlier, I have to provide privileges for 50 users 50 times. So in this case, how many times do I need to spend time, guys? Or how many times do I need to allocate the privileges? If I'm going with the concept of a group, can you able to hear me, guys? Earlier,
Yes.
when I'm having multiple 50 developers I'm having, so I have to assign my privileges. Okay, read permission to user 1, read permission to user 2, you read permission to user 5, read permission to 50 or a user 50. 50 times I need to allocate. But in this case, to whom we are allocating the privilege? Are we allocating at the user level or are we allocating at the group level?
Group level.
Group level. So whenever you are allocating at the group level, how many groups that you are having in front of you?
One group.
One group.
One group. So how many times you're going to allocate the permission this time?
One time.
Single time.
Single time. So I have to assign permission to only one group, which will get inherited by what? Inherited by all the other users
Other users.
who are part of that group. So it is what? It is just a one-time activity. You don't need to do it 50 times. So as a result, what we are doing here? As a result, we are saving so much time. As a result, we are saving so much time over here. Okay. So this is how it is going to be helpful, guys, for you. So now what are we going to do is like, I need to have my custom privileges or I need to have my custom role. So now I will create a group. Let me go ahead and create a group. So what am I going to do? I will go ahead and I'll create a group. Now under this group, let's say like I'm going to create a user called Suman. Let me show you the architecture diagram, guys. So this is the architecture diagram that which we are going to do it right now. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a group where I'm calling a group name as infrastructure build and release. What is the group name? Group name is like infrastructure build and release. Now, under this infrastructure build and release, I'm going to create a user called Suman. Suman is my user whom I'm going to add to a group called infrastructure build and release, where I will go ahead and I will create a custom role. Where I will go ahead and I will create a custom role. Under this custom role, I'm going to assign it to my group. Now, whenever I'm assigning any role to the group, then what will happen? Then Suman automatically gets inherited that role to him. So now finally, what am I going to do? Finally, once the role got inherited from the group to Suman user, Suman will go and he will test whether he can able to perform the activity or not. So overall, what we are going to do, guys, first we will go ahead and we'll try to create a custom role. Now, second thing is like, we will go and we will create this role and we will create a infrastructure build and release group. Once we create that group, to that group, I will assign this particular role. Now, under this particular group, I will be creating a user called Suman. Since we are assigning this particular role to a group, automatically Suman user is going to get that particular privileges. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Any doubts from anyone before we start? Please let me know if you have any doubts. Okay.
Sean, I have a doubt. Can't we
Yeah,
deal
Suraj.
with this with the resource group option?
Sorry, come again.
Can we perform? Can't we perform this task with the resource groups, like giving only VM accesses for the people?
See, We don't have such kind of a customization, right?
Okay.
Yeah. When you go to a resource group, under a resource group, I want to restrict to only virtual machine creation. How you can restrict? Are you getting me, Suraj?
Yeah. Now it makes sense.
Right? See, if you want to create a disk, he can create. If you want to create a storage account, he can create. If you want to create a load balancer, he can create. If you want to create anything, he can able to create it. This is what the overall privilege at the resource group level I can give. But custom role will give me the feasibility of granting the privileges at the individual service level. I am targeting only virtual machines, which means like this guy will have a privileges to create or a destroy or maintain only virtual machines, not other services.
Good.
Okay, cool. Nice question.
So
Sir.
one
Nice
question here, please.
Tell me, Keshav.
Sir, is the custom role, is it available at the subscription level or the top level, or is it available for
That's the
the
next
service
topic.
level?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell you that part. So now, whenever I'm going ahead and whenever I'm trying to create a custom role, I can create a custom role either at the subscription or I can create at my resource group level. See here, guys. Whenever I want to create any custom role, the scope of my custom role is either at the subscription level or at the resource group level. Now imagine like I'm creating my custom role only, let's say like resource group 1, which means this custom role, if any other team want to use it, they cannot use it, because you are assigning this custom role only to this particular resource group. But if I'm creating a custom role at my subscription level, then any guess guys what will happen if I'm creating a role at the subscription level? Then what is the use case?
All the resource groups under that subscription will be sized.
Very nice. So if I am creating any custom role at my subscription level, which means like all the resource groups who are part and parcel of that subscription can inherit or can consume that custom role and they can do their work. Let's say like you don't like a particular resource group, you are telling like, hey, no man, for these guys I don't want this particular role to be visible. You can add a deny. You can say like no, only for these resource groups only this should be visible, for others it should not be visible. Even you can do such kind of a customizations if you want. But generally it's a general practice that whenever we are creating any customer or any custom role, we obviously go for a subscription level only. We don't go at the resource group level. But I'm not telling you like you should not go. I'm telling you like since it is a custom role, we spend so much time to build and to create this custom role. So it should be accessible freely across all the resource groups. That should be the main motto. So that's the reason if you see the architecture that which we are going to define right now, you can able to see here, right? Whenever I'm creating a custom role, I have mentioned here the scope. The scope is what either at the subscription level, the scope is what either at your resource group level. You can create your custom role. If you want at a subscription level, you can create it, or else you can create it at your resource group level. Now, if you see the numbering guys here, so what we are going to do, first thing, I will go and I will create a custom role. Now, from the architecture, can anyone tell me guys, at what level are we going to create this custom role? From the architecture diagram, this is your architecture. Imagine like you're working for a project, your architect have given a diagram. Now think like that and tell me, from this picture, what did you understand? I want to create a custom role. What is the scope? Where am I going to create it right now from the architecture?
Subscription level.
Good. So first point is a custom role. Second point is like I'm going to create this custom role at the subscription level. Now, what is the third point? Third point is like creating a group called Infra build. What is the fourth point? Fourth point is creating a user called Suman. What is the fifth point, guys? Fifth point is assigning custom role to the group. Fifth point is what? Assigning this particular role. This is my custom role, assigning it to the group. So these are all the 5 things, guys, that which we are going to do it. Let's go ahead and do it. You can go and you can try to log into your website. Your website has a portal.azure.com. Your website has a portal.azure.com. Guys, by any chance, if you guys have created your Azure accounts, okay, and if you would like to share your account with all your friends who are joining as part of this class, please let me know if you guys are interested. Then I can create child accounts for all of you. Let me repeat, guys, again. If you guys have already created your Azure account, and if you feel like no sir, I just want to share my account with everyone so that everyone will get a benefit out of it. If you feel like that, then please let me know so that I will create all the child accounts for you in that Azure account so that you can start doing your practice. Good. So now what am I going to do is like I will go ahead and I will search for my Entra ID. So I'll be getting my Microsoft Entra ID. Let's click on that. Huh. So under which I need to create a user. I'll go to the users. Let's follow the numbering, guys, otherwise it would be good. So let's go under, let's complete the custom role first. So now what I will do, I'll go to my subscriptions. I'll go to my subscriptions. What is the first one? First one is like custom role creation. I will go to my subscription and here under access control IAM, under access control IAM, I will go and I will say, do you see an option add a custom role here? Good. At what level? At what level is this?
Subscription level.
Good. Now let me take you to resource groups. Select any resource group, guys. It doesn't matter for us. I'll go to IAM. Here I'll go ahead and I'll say, do you see again add a custom role?
Yes.
Good. So at 2 places you get this option. One at resource group level, second one at your subscription level. Now what we do, we go to the subscription level and I will say add and I'll say add a custom role. It would be very, very interesting, guys. And at the same time, it is a most toughest topic that which you have. Okay. So this is very, 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 very sensitive topic. You have to spend some time on this. Make sure that you guys are concentrating on the class. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay. Now in the custom role name, I'm going to say like I will call this one as a batch 1 KSR custom role. Copy paste it. So I'm telling like I'm going to start it from the scratch. I'm going to tell this guy like, okay, I'm going to start from the scratch. That's okay. Click on next. Now this guy is asking me, hey, add me the permissions. Add the permissions. Now what is our requirement, guys? Can anyone tell me the requirement?
So we need to create a custom role based on the resource group. So
Custom role
For building the
for
machine,
what?
oh,
the
for building application.
virtual machine building.
A custom
For
role
making
resource
server,
to
for making
use the
servers only.
resource group. A different resource group under one subscription, right? If we, so
Okay,
we
guys.
are eligible to access to all resource groups.
Arvind, I think I lost Arvind. I lost the connection. Can you just repeat it once again, Arvind, for me?
Okay, sorry. Actually, so custom rule to access for all the resource group.
Oh, to access all the resource group.
Resource groups.
Mhm.
Actually, for these custom rules is belongs to subscription level, right? So in under
Okay.
particular subscription level, what are the subgroups or what are the resource groups are there? So we can able to access for each and everything.
Okay, good, very nice. Now you tell me what is our requirement? What are we going to do?
For building a virtual machine, only building a virtual machine.
Good. So enable a user or enable a group with users to have privilege only to build a virtual machine.
Sean, your screen is not
Sharing the screen.
One second, sir. One second. Good. Guys, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So here, what is our requirement, guys? See what exactly we are going to do. We are going to enable a group with the users to have a privilege to only build a virtual machine. This is our requirement. This is what we are going to achieve it in today's class. So how we are going to achieve? We are going to achieve it with the help of custom rules. Now, is Azure providing only a service called virtual machine?
No.
No, they are providing plenty of services, right?
Yes.
Now that is the problem now. Let's see here. So whenever I go ahead and whenever I look after my permissions part, when I click on add a permission, here what is happening, guys? Can I able to see, or can you able to correlate which permission that you need to pick? Is that something easy for you?
It's something tricky.
Good. So here if you see, it is almost like 100 plus services that these guys are providing. Now, how do I pick which service, what service that I need to have access, or to which resource that I need to provide the privilege? So it is going to be a very challenging work for you in the real time. And how you guys are going to overcome? How you guys are going to overcome? So here, if I start searching for, let's say like a virtual machine, if I start searching, how many things that I got, guys? I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 into 4, 16, 17 services I got it. Now out of the 17 services, what should I take? How should I take? What privileges that I need to assign? I don't have any clue. I don't know how am I going to do it. So that's the reason what you guys have to do is like, once you click on the permission tab, there is a button down the line. What is the button? Download all the permissions. What you will do? You go ahead and you download all the permissions. Add a permission, come down and click on download all permissions. Now I will go to the desktop and then I'll say like a KSR Azure permissions. Now what am I doing? I am downloading it. Okay. But before that, what I want to know is like, I want to create a virtual machine. I'll go ahead for reference purpose. I'm going to create a virtual machine. So I will go ahead and I will try to create one virtual machine. So what I'll do, I'll provide a, KSR patch 1 RG1. I will say like my test server. Come down. just select the password based authentication. I'll go ahead and I'll say like a I will give the password and I'll click on review and create. Don't worry guys, sir, why you are creating a server, sir? What is the benefit that we are going to get? Okay, you will come to know most probably in 5 minutes. So here, what am I trying to do, guys? I'm trying to create a virtual machine for reference purpose. What is the major problem, guys? Can anyone tell me the problem statement that we are facing right now?
So how we can give only virtual machine access to build.
Very nice, good one. In a single statement, you completed it. Good. So how are we going to give a permissions only for a virtual machine? This is a big challenge that we have. Neither we know what is the virtual machine service that I need to pick it. Even though if I pick it, how am I going to provide only a particular privilege of only creating a server? That also I don't know. But I got a job, I joined a project. But what's happening? I got a job and I joined a project. Then how are you going to survive? How you guys are going to survive?
Yeah, you need to search in Google, ChatGPT,
Even if
Copilot,
you search in
Copilot.
ChatGPT, it will not give you.
Yeah, it will give, I think.
You can search. Let's say like I'll go to ChatGPT.
Yeah, Copilot.
So there, what they will give you is like, let's say like, can you generate Azure virtual machine or Azure custom role which give privilege only for creating a virtual machine?
JSON format.
Okay. So you got a role, right, Arvind?
Yes.
For your reference purpose, I'll keep this role here. Okay. If I go ahead and if I apply this role, 100% it will not work. You will come to know in a matter of time. Okay. But I'm just keeping that one for your reference. Okay. But what you need to know is like you need to know the troubleshooting tools like your ChatGPT or your Gemini or your Deep Sync. What are the AI tools that we have in the market? They give you rough estimation, but they will not teach you how you have to dig and how you have to figure it out the solution for a problem. They won't tell you. But what they will give you is like they will give you rough estimation. Okay, this is what it is. Go and try. If you are doing a try on this, definitely it will work. Maybe like you might take 4 hours or you might take 5 hours. You might take one complete day. Definitely it will help you out. Okay, I'm not telling you like no, this will not work. ChatGPT is not good and all. ChatGPT is awesome. It will definitely will help you, but it takes time. But it don't help you out. How to dig deep. What is the shortest way to figure it out the solution, right? Only humans know it. So let's see what is the easiest path that which we can build it up. Now what do we have, guys? Now we have a virtual machine. Now we have downloaded our software. Oh, sorry, we have downloaded our permissions. I'll go to the desktop and I'll say like permissions or else no downloads. I'll go to the downloads. So in the downloads, if I go and if I selected the file, Okay, so this is the file which I have downloaded it. Now let me write the problem statement, guys. Problem statement is like, how do we figure out which permissions should I pick to complete the task? This is the problem. Now, can anyone tell me what is the service, guys, that we are going to, or what is the service that we are going to consume?
Virtual machine.
Virtual machines. Do I have a virtual machine with me?
Yes.
Yes. Now what you need to do is like, go and click on JSON view. You see there is a button here called JSON view, right? Click on JSON view. So the moment you click on the JSON view, what it will give you is like, it will give you the type. What is the type of this resource? The type of this resource is Microsoft.compute/virtual machines. Now what we are getting, I am getting, what kind of a type is this? The type is Microsoft.compute virtual machines. Now I will go to the Excel sheet. This is the biggest big Excel sheet which I got it, which I have downloaded it. Now what I will do, I will go ahead and here I will start searching for I will just add a filter and add a filter. Now who is the resource provider? Resource provider is what? Resource provider is my Microsoft. So you can able to see here, right? Microsoft.compute. So I will go and I am going to select only my Microsoft. Let's copy this one. And then I will unselect everything and I'll paste it. So what am I selecting? I'm selecting only Microsoft Compute. Unselect everything, select only Compute. Click on OK. Now what do we got? We got only the entries which belongs to Microsoft.compute. Now out of Microsoft.compute, what is the service that I'm looking for? I'm looking for
Virtual
virtual
machines.
machines. Go ahead and under the resource type, you unselect everything and you just pass on only the virtual machines. Here you need to select only virtual machines because they might be providing you plenty of other services, but we are least bothered about others. What we are bothered only about virtual machines. Click on OK. Now what did we do? We did the filtering on what? Filtering on whatever the service that I needed. What is the service that I needed? I need virtual machine. Now here comes your end-to-end access things. What are and all the different operations that you can perform? You can perform a read, write, delete, start, power off, reapply, redeploy, restart, retrieve, run a command, simulate, associate, dissociate, rollback, cancel, install patches, log in, log out, all the necessary actions. Do you need to go to Google and search for these kind of privileges, guys? Do you really feel like going to Google or going to ChatGPT to get all these things? Is it easy?
No, not easy.
Not easy?
No, it's complicated. So only if you know something at least 50%, yeah, we can do 50% in the Google.
Good. So that's the reason this class is going to help you a lot in learning all these complication things. Okay. So that's the reason always learn. If you're learning from a trainer or if you're learning from a real-time experience, guys, you will learn all these kind of shortcuts. So now what do we have, guys? We know like what are the different operations that we can perform. And if you would like to know the explanation on the right hand side, you will be getting the relevant explanation as well. Okay. Now let's try to simulate a small role and then we will try to assign that role to our user Suman and we will see how this user is going to behave. Once we assign the role to the user Suman, whether he can be able to create the server, whether he can able to perform anything in the server or not, we will see. Okay. Now we can jump on. where we can jump on, we can go ahead and we can search for our subscription. So when you go to the subscriptions, you can select the respective subscription. Now under the subscription, what I will do, I will go ahead and I'll select my access control. So in the access control, I'll select my custom role. I'll go to add and then I'll give add a custom role. In the custom role, I'm going to give my role name as KSR virtual machine custom role. I'll copy it. In the description, I'll give the same. I'll click on next. Now in the permission tab, so it was giving me so many things. But what did we do, guys? We customized it. How did we customize? We went ahead and we bought whatever the service that we needed. What is the service that I need? I need Microsoft.compute/virtual machines. So from where I got this, simply go to any of the existing virtual machine. Let's say like this is my virtual machine. So simply go to any of your existing virtual machines. You will get the type in a matter of 2 seconds. You can get the type. Copy the type. Go to the permissions. Just paste it. Now I landed onto the respective service whatever I needed. So this is the service I need. I have landed. I'll click on that. So in this, what I need, I have to give him a read privilege and I have to give him a write privilege. Because what is the operation that these guys are going to do? They are going to create the servers and they are going to see the servers. What is the privilege that these guys need to have? They have to build a server, and whenever they are building the server, they need to validate the server as well, which means like they need to have a read and write access. What is the privilege I'm giving? I'm giving like a, so guys, see here, be careful. Do not select on other things. You have to select virtual machines only. You have to select virtual machines only because Azure provides you a concept called virtual machine scale sets as well. Virtual machines scale sets as well. There is a separate service that you will learn. We will learn a bit later. So make sure that you are giving slash here. So now it is a get a virtual machine, create or update a virtual machine. It is what? It is a get a virtual machine or a create and update a virtual machine. I'll say like add. What are the privileges that we are giving? We are giving these two privileges: virtual machines read and write. Click on next. So now it is going to ask me, hey, what is your scope? To whom you are planning to allocate? Are you planning to give the scope to your entire subscription? Or else you feel like you want to give to only particular resource group? What is the scope? What is the scope? Like I have mentioned, add a assignable scopes. Add a assignable scopes. So now under which I can go and I can select my subscription. This is my subscription. If you want to give it at the subscription level, you can give it. Or else go and select the resource group. Now what it is asking me, guys, it is asking me, hey, tell me which resource group that you want to enable this one with. Whatever the resource groups you are going to select, for them it will get reflected. Any doubts, guys, till now from anyone? Is the concept is clear?
No.
Sorry?
No doubts. No doubts.
No doubts. Okay, good.
Sir, one question.
So
Please.
now, yeah, Kishore, tell me, sir.
So this custom role that we are creating for the only for the virtual machines, can we add multiple services as well? Like I want to have
Yes.
Okay.
You can go ahead. Under the permission tab, right? Right now I have given only these two, right? Later, if you say like, later other services also will come slowly. Why?
Okay.
What is the reason? I will tell you what is the reason.
Okay, it's not allocated only for service, but we can add multiple services as well for the single custom role.
Yes. You're right. Or else, can't you allocate more than one role to a user?
We can. I think we can.
That is also possible. You club everything under one role and assign it. Or else you divide and rule it. Let's say like one role I will create it for virtual machines, one role for the storage accounts, one role for the load balancers. So like this, if you're distributing it, then it would be easy for you to identify the things. Okay, which permissions are going into which role. But it's not going to restrict you from doing it. It's up to you. But ideal way is like distribute it and do it, so that for a longer run you will have a clear visibility what role is holding what. Is that clear, Keshava?
Yes, sir. It is clear. Thank you.
So now what do we have, guys? We are having our custom role. What is the custom role? KSR VM custom role. This is the one. So what are the privileges I have given? The privilege I have given is like virtual machine read and write. Virtual machine read and write. I'll go ahead and I'll click on next. Finally, I'll click on create. As part of our architecture, we'll go and we'll see what have we done. So I went ahead and I created a custom role, and the scope I defined at my subscription level. Now 1 and 2 it's completed. Now comes my 3. What is the 3? 3 is like infra build and release. Infra build and release group has to be created. Let's try to create it. Where do we create? Go to your ID. I need to create one group. I need to create one group. So click on the groups concept. On the left hand side you have a groups, right? Let me show you. So here on the left hand side you have a button called groups. So click on the groups, and in the group I will go and I'll say like a new group. Now in the group name I'm going to say like a KSR infra build, group discussion, group description. I'll click on, see there is an option called members, right? There is an option called the members. I don't have any members right now. I'll create the members bit later. Click on create. Now we need one user also. I will go and click on the user. I will go and I'll click on the user. Do you remember we created one user, right? What is the user, guys? Anyone remember the user name?
Suresh. I guess it's Suresh.
Good. So we created KSR Suresh. KSR Suresh user. Okay. So when I click on this user, if you start searching for a groups, so under the group membership, if you see, click on a view. So answer is 0 because this guy never been part of any groups. This guy is not being part of a group. Let's take a KSR Suresh and let's add this user to our group. I will go to the groups. And this is my group name. So what is a group name, guys? I'll start with the KSR infra build. So under this group, I'm going to create or add a user. Under manage, click on members. Under manage, click on members. And then I will go ahead and I'll say like add a member. And who is a member? This guy is a member. KSR Suresh is a member. I'll click on select. Now I can able to see like KSR Suresh is available. Okay, guys. So now we have a group and we are having our custom role and we do have our user. Now let's go to our role and try to assign privileges. Let's go to our role and let's try to assign that role to our group. So go to the subscription. Go to the subscription. Click on your subscription. Go to your access control IAM. Go to add and click on add a role assignment. Add a role assignment. Now under add a role assignment, what kind of a role is this, guys? Is this a built-in role or is this a custom role?
Custom role.
Custom role. Good. So click on this item and click on custom role. So under the custom role, I am looking for KSR. This is my KSR virtual machine custom role. Click on next. Now to whom I need to assign this, guys? To a user or to a group?
Group.
Group. Select the member. Search for KSR Infra building. Click on select. Come down and click on select. But if you observe carefully, guys, are we giving any kind of a reader, contributor or owner here? Do you see like we are selecting any of those?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No. So hence what we are selecting? We are selecting our custom role. Whatever you want, you can create it. Whatever you want, you can create it. So now I will go ahead and I'll say like role assignments. Under the role assignments, I just want to see whether KSR received our user KSR Suresh. Yeah. So can you able to see, guys, KSR Suresh? You got a contributor, but this is not the one, right? This is coming from the earlier class. So now I have my KSR Infra build. KSR Infra build. What is the role that he got? He got a KSR VM custom role. What he got? He got a role of type called a KSR VM custom role. So now to our group, we allocated the role. Now whenever we allocated the role to the group, is it going to reflect to the user, guys?
Yes.
Yes. So how do we validate? How do we validate what sort of a roles that a user is having? What sort of a roles that a user is having? So go to Entra ID. We can go to our Entra ID. Under the Entra ID, you can select the users. So what is a user? User is my KSR Suresh user. So now for this user, you can select Azure role assignment. For KSR Suresh, what sort of a privileges that this user is holding? I need to verify. So he is holding contributor permission onto KSR batch 1 RG1. He is holding contributor privileges onto the subscription, and he is holding KSR VM custom role onto my subscription. So this is how we are going to see a user and his privileges. What sort of a privileges that this user is holding? Okay. So a user and his role and on which resource he can perform the activity. Now it's concluded that KSR Suresh is having a custom role on my subscription. Now what I will do, I will go ahead and log into Firefox. But guys, don't you feel like there is something fishy in these roles? See these
Yeah,
roles
there is a
carefully and
conflict.
tell me, guys.
Actually, there is a conflict with the contributor and the custom role.
Very nice, guys. Good one. Thanks, Yeshua. So hence what we will do, we will remove this privilege for this KSR user, because which one is the highest privileges out of these two?
Contributor.
Contributor with the
Contributor is
subscription level.
highest privilege. So let's go to the subscription and then remove the contributor to the KSR. I'll go and I'll say like under the role assignments, I'll say KSR Suresh. He's holding a contributor permission. I will go and I will delete it. So now it got deleted, guys. I removed the user from a contributor. So you can validate this. How you can validate? You can go back. KSR Suresh, Azure roles. Let me rephrase, guys, because if you are having contributor, then it won't make any sense of working on the custom role, guys. Because custom contributor role is having highest privilege, right? Then that guy can easily create whatever he want. So finally, what do we have, guys? This guy is having a contributor role only onto the resource group 1. But anyhow, we'll try to create a new resource group. And then this guy is doing what? He is having only the custom role on our subscription level. So this is what we needed. Now let's go ahead and try to log in. So I will use Edge, Microsoft Edge. Let's try to log into the console as our KSR Suresh user, and let's see whether he can able to create or not. If he's unable to create, then what is the issue that he's going to face? All those things we'll see now. I'll go and I'll say like restore the old pages. Good. So now on the right hand side, you see we have our user. Who is the user? KSR Suresh. Now what is happening, guys? Can he able to see our server?
Yes.
Good. So my test server he can able to see because he's having a read only permission. He's having a read only permission. Okay, that's fine. Now what is a, let's say like I will go and I will try to create a virtual machine as a what user? As a KSR Suresh user. So now he will try to click on create a new and he will say KSR Suresh resource group 1. Now see here, guys, can he able to create a new resource group?
No.
No. Did we give him the privilege of a resource group? During our permission creation time or custom role time, did we give him a privileges to read and write to the resource group?
No.
No.
Yeah, only read
No.
and write, no create.
No create for what? Only for the virtual machine, not to the resource group. Now he cannot create a resource group. That's a problem now. Now what he will do, we will go and we will select the any resource group you can select. Once you select, you will have a JSON view. Once you have a JSON view, then the resource type is Microsoft.resources.resource groups. Microsoft.resources/resource groups. So now I will go to Entra ID. What is the first error message the end user got? What is the first error message, guys? Our end user
Not
Suresh got?
having permissions to create the resource group.
Perfect. You don't have a permission to create a resource group. So go to the subscription, select the subscription. Under the subscription, select the access control. Under the access control, you can search for roles. You can search for roles. Let it come. I will show you. Finally. So click on the roles. What kind of a role? It's a custom role. Filter it with a custom role. Filter it with a KSR. Now this is my KSR custom role. How are we going to edit it? How are we going to edit it? Okay. Listen carefully. On the right hand side, you will get a 3 dots. On the right hand side, what you get? You get 3 dots. Go ahead and select it. So I will search for KSR. So this is my role. Click on these 3 dots and click on edit. So now under the permissions, what is the permission that I want to add? Click on add a permission. I didn't mark. That's okay. Microsoft resources / resource group. This is a privilege. I'll go and I'll search for it. Resource groups. It is telling me no, man, there is no such thing. That's okay. Microsoft resources. So under the resources, search for resource groups. Okay. So you are having /subscriptions / resource groups. /subscriptions / resource groups. Now, what is the privilege? Privilege is to read and write. Privilege is to read and write. Click on add. Now, slowly resource groups start growing. I will go and I will say like a next. And I'll click on next. So now virtual machines read and write, and subscriptions, resource groups read and write. Click on next. So click on update. Earlier our user was getting a privilege of unable to create a resource group. Now he should not get that. He should not get that. Let's see. I'll go to Edge and then I will re-log in again here. Now I will go and I will create KSR Suresh resource group 1. It's telling me still what? A permission you don't have it, man. Permission you don't have it. Okay, that's okay. Just go ahead and try to re-log in. So now is it throwing error, guys?
No.
Now do we see any error? No, right? Click on OK. Click on OK. But earlier it was torturing me. It was not entertaining me to go ahead. It's always stuck at this point of time. But now what we are doing, we can able to see like KSR Suresh RG1. It got successfully assigned. Now I will come down. I'll say Suresh followed by server 1. It is Suresh server 1. Come down, 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 down. So he's giving the password as Suresh @1234. So I'll give the username. Username, let's say like a KSR admin. Password, I will say, let me give the password again, guys. Okay, I've given the passwords, and then what I will do, I'll click on review and create. So here comes the issue, and you need to figure it out how you are going to troubleshoot it. What it is telling me, it's telling me validation failed, right? Click on the view details. Click on the view details. Copy code, go to a notepad and paste the error message. Guys, everyone, please remember one thing, guys. In DevOps platform, 80% of our solutions 80% of a solutions you see in the error codes itself. You will get the solutions for your problems 80% in the error code itself. In the code itself, you will have a solution. But you need to be precise. You need to go to each and every line and see what is written. Now, see guys, their message is very simple message and it is crystal clear. So what it is telling me, it's telling me authorization failed. I'm asking, hey, why did you failed, man? I want a server. Suppose you supposed to create a server. I got a server read and write operation. I got what? I got a server read and a server write operation. But why you are not entertaining me to complete the work? It is telling me authorization failed. What is the reason? Come hit enter. I will say hit enter. I'll say hit enter. Now if you read, boss, you are trying to create an object which doesn't have authorization to perform the operation. What is the operation, guys? Microsoft resource group read. Okay, resource group read. So it is telling me like I don't have a privilege of a read. But guys, you remember we gave a read permission, right? We have granted a read permission. Let me go ahead and let me show you what I mean. If I go to the resource, this one, and if I go and if I click on a view, if I click on a JSON, what did we give? We gave this privilege. So subscriptions resource group read or write. Subscriptions resource group read or write. Then why we are getting this error message? Then why do we get this error message? Guys, everyone please make a note. Azure take at least 5 minutes to 10 minutes 5 minutes to 10 minutes to sync your recent changes. Now what is the recent change, guys? Recent change is this one. I already gave resource group read and write, but ideally it should not throw me this error, but still it is throwing because the sync didn't happen properly. Now we can try to refresh it and try to create our server again. Let me try for the last time, guys. Let me refresh it. Now a small question to everyone. Do you really feel like whatever the permissions that which we have given, are they enough to create a virtual machine?
Yes.
Good. Now, can you please tell me what sort of a different resources that you are having in your laptop?
Network storage.
Network,
storage,
storage.
IP address.
Then
Mm.
any other? Anyone else?
Disk RAM.
So you're going to have what? You're going to have RAM. You're going to have hard disk. You will have a CPU.
Okay,
You will
OS.
have a CPU and you will have an operating system. You will have what? You will have an operating system. Now, out of all these things, to whom we are giving privilege to our user?
Virtual machine.
Virtual machine. So along with your virtual machine, what are the other dependent components? So your VM is depending upon the deployments. Your VM is depending upon the VNet. Your VM is depending upon the resource group. Your VM is depending upon the network security group. It is depending upon the disk and it is depending upon the public IP. Whenever you say like I am going to create a virtual machine, it doesn't mean that you are going to create only one virtual machine. So along with your virtual machine, you are going to get other components. Whether you like it or not, those components will be coming as part of a design. But as part of our permissions, did we give privileges for all the other components?
No.
No. So hence it will fail. It will fail. But at this point of time, it is failing at the resource group level itself. But that's okay. That is manageable. So now what I'll say like a KSR admin. I'll give password. Click on review and create. Now again the validation failed. Click on the details. Again it is a read and write, guys. Let me relog in. Still the permissions didn't get reflected for our user, guys. If you feel the same kind of an issue is coming for you, then the best approach is like go ahead and do a relogin. It's taking time, huh? Good. So now let me try to create. I'll say KSR Suresh. Come down. I'll say like a Suresh server 1. Down. Select the password. I'll say username. Finally, I'll click on review and create. So now what it is telling me, it's telling me validation passed, guys. Let's go ahead and click on create. So what it is telling me, it's clearly telling me, hey man, validation is successful. So I'm so happy, I'm so excited. Okay, with only 2-3 permissions, I made it. Finally, it is allowing me to create a virtual machine. Let's see what will happen. Whether it will really work or it is not going to work, we'll see the execution part. No guys, see there is a small problem. So it got selected as a KSR batch 1. Can any one of you tell why this is working for this user right now? Any guess from anyone?
Already
this
the
guy?
user was in a resource group.
Good. So since our KSR Suresh user is part of a contributor for this particular resource group, and this resource group got us selected, hence this guy can able to create a server. But ideally this is not the use case that we are expecting. What is the use case? If I go to a virtual machine, when he tried to create a virtual machine, Apart from that resource group, you need to give, let's say like I will give, Suresh RG3 as a resource group. I'll click on OK. Come down, 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 down. I'll give my username. So I'll say like a KSR Devops user. Password I'll say @1234. So I'll click on review and create. So now again, what is happening, guys? Again, validation is getting failed. We will see why it is failing. So basic checks. Now virtual machine name, I'll say like a server one. Review and create. So create a new. What is asking, guys? It is asking for a network. I'll say like a Suresh VNet. Click on OK. So now click on review and create. So now when I click on the final validation, guys, is it allowing us to complete our work? See here. Again, what we got? Again, we got our error message. Now, if you see the error message carefully, this time what it is telling me, it's telling me, hey, you don't have an authorization to perform deployment validation action, and you don't have a proper privileges to perform. See, who is the user? KSR Suresh user is not having a privileges of Microsoft.resources/deployment/validation/action. So since this guy is not having this privilege, what it is telling me, it's telling me like, hey, you cannot create a server. You cannot create a server. So in tomorrow's session, what we do is like, we go ahead and we see like what are and all the different options that it is going to throw as an error. What are and all the setup that we have to configure in order to make this work. Everything we will see it in tomorrow's class. Thank you so much, guys, for joining for the session. Have a great day ahead. Let's connect to tomorrow to complete our custom roles. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any doubts, please stay back and clear your doubts. Otherwise, have a great day ahead. Okay, any doubts, guys? Anyone from any issues or any doubts from anyone?
Shan, have a
Yes,
doubt.
sir.
Like you are creating all these services in your Entra ID, like uh, your own creation, or you are a root user in this.
Yes, I'm a root user.
So
I'm a
you are
root
giving
user.
permission. So you are, as a root user only, you are creating all these services and everything.
See, what we are doing is like, Sasha is my L2 team. Okay. So I'm a
Yes.
SME for this project. This is Sasha. So Sasha came to me. So let's say like I'm an SME, or I'm a delivery, or let's say like I'm a senior DevOps for the project. Now I want to enable you. Right?
Yes.
So then what I have to do? I have to create a custom role.
Custom role.
In this custom role with all permissions, and then what I need to do? I need to assign this role to you, right?
Yes.
But do I have all these permissions? Do I
Uh,
know all these permissions?
yes, because you are the root user.
But I'm struggling to figure it out. What are and all the permissions that I am having? I can do a copy paste.
Oh.
I know what permissions that I need to give, but I don't want to do a copy paste. So hence, what
Mhm.
am I doing? I'm doing a trial and error method. So to this role, I'm adding a permission 1. And I assigned this role to you. Till here is clear,
All right.
Sasha?
Yes, Ishan.
Now Sasha is logging into the Azure cloud. She is trying to create a VM. Now every time when I try to create a VM, she is getting one error message.
Yeah.
What I'm asking Sasha is like, if you get any error message, pass on the error message to me. What are you doing? You are giving that message to me. Now what am I doing? I'm reading the message. This message.
Yeah, error
Now
message.
in this message, do I have the privilege what that Sasha is missing?
Yes, you have.
Now what I will do? I will go. I will say, okay, Sasha bought a new issue. Let me add a permission. Did I add a permission to?
Yes.
Now I will ask, hey Sasha, I fixed this issue. Go and create a VM. Now what again you will do? You will come up with error message again. Again I will
you
read
will
it. Again I
read the
will add it.
message. So this would be the case in the real time as well, Shan.
Definitely this will be the case. But you will not deal with a direct user. You will create a test user by yourself when you are getting a requirement, right? See, imagine like client is asking me. I cannot every time I cannot go and ask him, boss, share me your screen, show me the error message and all. I cannot ask him, right?
Yes.
Instead, I will create a dummy user and I will start playing on the dummy user. The moment I feel like this dummy user is having all the privileges, everything is ready, then I will assign that role onto the client original ID and I'll ask the client to test it.
All right.
Is that clear, Sasha? Otherwise, from where how you will get it? Whatever the privileges that your ChatGPT is giving, Azure is giving, you will never get that. You have to do
Yeah.
in this way only. There is no other go.
Okay.
But is this a
So
daily activity?
it might not be the daily activity.
Yeah,
It's a
once
one
in a
time.
blue
It's
moon,
one time.
once in a blue moon, you will get this activity.
Yeah. Whenever we create the new users like that, we will be getting all these type of issues
Yes, whenever you get a requirement, such kind of a
or
custom
requirement.
requirement, that time you will do it. Otherwise, it's no more required. Not at all required. Okay.
All right. So Shan, like if a person is if I am the root user, I am going to create some child users. So these child users can uh, like can also create some other child users.
Depends upon the privilege what you are giving for that user.
Oh,
Is he a contributor? Is he a owner? If
okay.
the child account is a owner, then he can entertain others to be part of a owner to that subscription or to the resource group.
All right, Shan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Nice. Okay, guys. Then thank you so much for joining. Have a great day ahead. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.